What I was trying to say is I have a new PC. There's a new version of OBS. So I've got lots of new things here, and I'm streaming with it for the first time. So before I do the actual video that I wanted to do, I figured I would do a quick little thing talking about some tools that I'm using now. So I'm going to reset my viewports here to show you guys one of them I'm excited about. So this is a little vine ring, and I put this in here to give it some stability because otherwise it just have this, thin piece over here. And I'm going to flatten that down in 3D coat so it's a nice oval opening. But I made this with a new tool. So here's how this is laid out. There's a little curve that I'm just flowing this along, and each one of these is just a flow surface for the bezel. But this thing is what I want to show you. Whoops, wrong button. So I made this, and I'm calling it symmetric curve. So basically I can take this point, and it will, if I turn on the points for, let's see, that curve, turn points on. And what it's doing is it's using this surface to calculate the symmetry. So I have two axes of symmetry across the U and the V. So when I move this, it's going to move that side. And when I move this, it's going to move that side. And the thing I like about this, the reason I made it this way, so I'm going to make sure lock history is on. And then I'm just going to orient this. Actually, I want to orient 3 without copy, and I'm just going to take the center mark and go up here and go up there, and then I can go to 0, up and over, and now I can put this on a flat plane to do some editing. There we go. And I start off with these two with these two, and then I flow them from this surface to that surface, from that surface to that surface. So no matter where in this chain I break this, let's say I want to break history here. I will turn lock history off. I'll take and move that. And I'm flowing that one from that surface to that surface. So at any point in this chain, I can break history to get a different view of it. If I want to go change anything from the top to the bottom. This is a tween curve, which I can also break and move in between, but then I just grab here, I'll take and just grab all of this and delete it. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to grab all of those and say symmetric curve U, and I'm going to pick this for the plane. These points are just for me. I turn them off when I do a actual build, but this is helpful for debugging to see where all the points are landing. But I'm going to say mirror count 2. And so now I've got a mirroring on the U, a mirroring on the V, and I end up with a curve that's 8 points. I can change the degree. If there's only one mirror, you can open it up, so you can just have symmetry across without it being closed. Or you can make it closed, make this 2. And the other thing is a tolerance. So let's say it's kind of easy to see that these points are on this line and these points are on this line. But if you're a little bit off, especially when you start getting into like having 3 levels here, so that's quite a mess because it wasn't made for that. But this axis of symmetry here, it's kind of hard to see where those points are on that axis. So I have a built-in tolerance, and I'll just go back to 2 because that's what these parent curves are made for. I'll just go back to 2 and show you like how this tolerance works. So I'll do that, and then I'll grab this and this, and this and this, and turn points on. Then we're going to lock all of this so it doesn't move. Lock. Okay. So even now you can see like I am not, this point is for this curve. I am not on this axis exactly. So as I move it out, you can see that it's extending, it's projecting to that symmetry plane until I get about a 1/4 millimeter of the way across, and now I have it's automatically adding another point there. Oh, it's not adding a point yet. I just had to make a decision. Did you really mean to extend it up to there, or should it just go over here? So this angle between this point and here, you can see that will change how it does the see, now it's not now it's going along this tangent rather than just projecting it to the plane. So it depends on this angle if it does that, but the tolerance thing is once you get a 1/4 millimeter off of that line, then it's going to say, okay, they want 2 points. There's no point in between, you know, but if they get close enough, then it just extends. As long as this angle is kind of pointing towards it. If the angle is pointing away, it projects. Because, you know, this is actually pointing away from the plane, so it would never intersect. And that was just a judgment call I made, and I've been fairly happy with how that works. Anyways, so I'm going to unlock that stuff, and then now I'll just, so these were flowed from here to there. These were flowed from there to there. These were flowed from there to there. So I can break history whenever I need. So this is like getting my first shape in order, and then this is the base is a little bit wider or a little bit skinny, whatever it happens to be. And then I just go in and do a loft. So I've got some extras in here. I didn't know quite where I would want to put things, but I think I'm skipping that one is how I liked it to end up being. So I'm skipping these outside two and just using the tween. We're going to go loose, closed, okay. And now I've got this surface that I can edit. These guys are so that I can change the height of it. You know, depending on what's going on, I may want this to be a little taller or shorter. Oh, I broke history on this earlier, and so I didn't undo that. So when it flows here, I need to grab this, and then move it down. And turn points off, set Z to here. And now I can go back down there. But point is, I can do surface. Those need to be at the same Z for this to work. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I broke history on that and forgot, but there you go. So I can adjust the height. Anyways, I really like it. My goal is to take and have a plane here. Like I'm working on a mirror. So I'm just naming it mirror without the last letter. I guess I should put something on here to mirror first. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't remember where I left this. But I'm going to take that and move it across here. Yeah, I'm working on that one. This is a debug build. But to have everything based off of here, array polar, mirrors, and just kind of treat this as a construction plane so that I can take the whole thing, make sure lock children's on, yep. So then I can take and rotate the whole thing and now edit over here in space. So grab that point, align to object, and now I can continue editing it wherever it ends up being. And mirrors, arrays, polar, have a whole list of things that will be based off of this plane. Rotate copy. Anyways, so that's one on my favorite tool list. And I'm not going to do much more because I'm going to turn this off and check out the stream and make sure it's working. And then I'm going to do the real thing that I wanted to do for a stream. But let me show you guys a tool, and I'll switch over to the big cam here. So this is my other favorite little thing that I got. This is the OmniFix Pro. It's a soldering station for doing electronics, but I bought one for each of the stations in the shop. So it's got parallel jaws. The shop ones, we wouldn't have these little tabs on them still. But the thing about it that's handy is there's no spring back. So once you position something and let it go, it doesn't, you know how third hands are. They have a lot of spring back to them. This doesn't have that. You can stack these. So it's a magnet. This is a little magnet attachment. You pop it on, the ball goes in there. You can stack it so you can get some extra height, which for doing torch work, I wouldn't, this has like a nice powder coating on it. For torch work, they generally, move it up or hang it over the edge. Hang it over the edge so the torch is going onto, or just put a little pad in there. But for lining up delicate work, this thing is awesome because there's no parallel. And what I use it for lately is I use my heat gun for the soldering station. So this is a little scrap piece of sterling. I throw the gemstone on there, heat up the silver, then take a brass rod and some DOP and just grab the bottom of the stone, let it sit. You need a very, very light attachment point because you're just going to scan it. But I can grab it by the Q-lit, just a tiny bit of it, pick it up, put some 3D scanning spray on it, scan it, and when I'm done, stick it in the freezer for a second. If you've never played with gem cutters DOP sticks, it's a different kind of DOP. It's a different kind of pitch or resin than we use in the repair shop for working on chains and stuff like that. But just a little bit of heat, get it gooey, touch it, let it cool. You warm up the stone a little bit too. Not a lot of heat. You just warm up the silver plate, put the stone on it. Just let it get a little, you can still touch it. So it would work with sensitive stones. Put that DOP on, stick it in the freezer, and it just falls off. If you drop it or set it down too hard on the desk, it pops off. Not as cleanly. You might have to scrape some of the resin off. But it's firm enough to hold it while you just put it in a scanner and let it spin around for a second. The 3D scanner doesn't have any bumps that's going to make it pop off. Yeah, so this is an excellent little soldering station for electronics or for in the shop. OmniFixio, and I'll put a link. They're not paying me or anything. I saw it on Kickstarter and bought one and loved it, and then bought more. So it wasn't a Kickstarter. It was some electronics blog. So I pre-ordered it. Okay, so quick little stream. I'm gonna go look at the video, see that if it works or it doesn't work, and then make some adjustments so I can record another video with a new workflow that I found that I'm pretty excited about. And I want to remember it. And I probably won't do this again for another year, and I'll go, how did I do this? Oh yeah, I made a video. Okay.